Welcome to the Sim Podcast. I'm your co-host Eric, and I'm always joined by my co-host Ron. What Ron?
What's going on?
You know what we do? We talk about the National Football League on a weekly basis, including the playoffs. Ron, we are 8 days away because I guess less than that because seven.
Yeah, next week.
It's a Thursday game. How do you feel? Oh, by the way, this is episode 126, Ron. So we're getting up there. How do you feel about this week, Ron?
I'm ecstatic, man. We got a week away, like you said, from real NFL football, but college football started today. The Red Sox won today.
Sweet.
All weekend is like some great college football games. So, you know, it's a wrap for my wife and my family. I told them, this is it. I'm 100% focused on football now.
I'm with you with the everything except for the college football because I just never been a fan of it. But this is like a prep week, right?
Yeah.
You get your barbecue ready.
Oh yeah.
You get like what kind of beers? Oktoberfest is already out there.
Yep. Labor Day weekend. You can be grilling and stuff.
Yep. So we have on the docket, Ron. We have the NFL news. Then we're gonna do some coaches in the hot seat. We'll do our quarterback rankings before the season, and then we'll finish up the shows by our playoff predictions. And I'm just gonna jump into the news round because this made us both change our playoff predictions. Parsons traded to the Green Bay Packers. Do you think 2 first rounds was too much? And a player? That's what he was traded for.
Too much. I don't think it was enough. If you consider, and this is going way back, but what Herschel Walker was traded for, right? Eight draft picks, 2 first rounds picks. Those are draft picks are a crapshoot. You don't know what you're gonna get, and those picks are going to be late first round picks anyway, right? Green Bay, you assume is going to finish real good, so they're not going to be premium first round picks. So I think they could have got more. I know they got a player. I forgot his name. I need to look it up now.
It's a defensive tackle, but I don't know the name.
Yeah, he's supposed to be pretty good. So I know they got a player in return as well. But, here's the thing. Like with trades, you got to not only consider the picks that you're getting back, but what you're also giving up is not having to spend $47 million, I think is what is getting paid, right? So the other team has to take that contract on. So, I still think they could have got a little bit more, but it is what it is. It was shocking to see. Like you said, I think it changes the outlook of the league and our predictions that we spent a lot of time on with our over-unders and all that stuff a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I was. First of all, I really thought that the deal was not gonna go through, and then when they showed that picture of him laying on a table while his team was playing, he looked so disinterested, and I was just like, wow, maybe this is really not gonna happen. And sure enough, he went to Green Bay. Was Green Bay the only one giving him 2 number 2s in the first? I mean, because I'm like you. I'm like, I think you could have gotten more.
The only thing is where. It's easy to say you can get more, but how many teams were willing to give up multiple round picks and pay that contract? It would have to be a team that's on the cusp of making the playoffs or already in the playoffs, but they would have to have money, right? Money available. So that knocks out 90% of the playoff teams right there because most of them are up against the salary cap and they can't afford it, period. So there's only a handful of teams, I think, that it would make, in my eyes, make sense for them to go after someone like Parsons if they feel that that could take them over the top.
Over the top.
And also if they can afford it, right? So
$47 million cap hit.
Money.
A lot of money. What is it? 188 and then 136 guaranteed.
Highest non-quarterback in the NFL now. That was
TJ
Watt just a couple weeks ago, and now it's Michael Parsons, which I think we all knew was he'd get a huge contract. So here we are. Kenny Clark is the player that they got back in return. He's supposed to be good. He had a good season last year. So it helps them on the defensive line front, but you can't replace a player like Micah Parsons. You're not going to be able to do that at all.
Yeah. I mean, when Dak got hurt, they couldn't score, right? But the defense was decent, right? They were okay. I mean, if Green Bay dropped the ball, and I guess the predictions are now they're Super Bowl contenders. If they don't get to the Super Bowl, this falls on Love, right?
Yeah, I mean, I do that. Does this make them, automatic Super Bowl contenders? I'd say no.
Yeah.
I think they were in the running for sure, but they still got to get by some teams. Detroit in their own division that they'll need to get by and stuff. Nothing's guaranteed here. Love too. I mean, it looked like he took a step back last. I know he played injured, so like you said, it'll depend on how he performs and whether or not he can stay healthy too.
The other news that I have, Ron, is the 53-man roster. I know you watched for the Steelers and I did the Patriots, but was this anything shocking?
Not really. Not really, to be honest with you. We had some guys that were cut that were on the bubble, but they ended up coming back and making the
practice squad.
Yeah. So none of our players that we dropped got picked up by any other teams, and then we didn't pick up any players through waivers. I don't know if they attempted to and just didn't get anyone, but I don't think there was any surprises at all. I think for the roster, I think it's pretty much set at this point. There's rumors, depending what you want to believe, that the Steelers are out there shopping for a receiver again. I don't know if I believe some of that that's out there. I think they'd like one, but to find the right person again with where the money makes sense, that's a difficult, proposition. So I don't know. I think the roster is what it is. I think we knew heading into the preseason what it was going to be, and now here we are.
Yeah, I wasn't shocked. Well, I wasn't shocked until the day after, right?
With their how many receivers initially? 8.
Well, I knew that Baker wasn't going to make it.
Right.
I knew that Polk wasn't going to make it. I knew that I wasn't sure that what just happened with Bourne being released, because he's relatively healthy, so I know he was ready for week 1, but he just didn't want to be in that group, I guess, which is kind of disappointing because he's actually a pretty good receiver when he's healthy.
I wonder, because I saw some stuff, if Bourne was on the team, who's the number 1? Is it not Stephon still?
It's still going to be Stephon.
Yeah, I think for some reason, I don't know if he thought he's still a number 1 or what, and if that was part of it, but I guess he wanted to be out. I'm not surprised by the receivers that are now on the team. Initially, I was when you had 8, but I figured they would keep Polk around. They ended up IRing him, because you just can't give up on a second-round player this quickly, right? So, not surprised that they kept it.
But if I would, why didn't he just say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna get a second opinion? I felt like that was really fast. It's almost like they told him, look, you can stay on this team, but you're gonna go hire you.
Teams do that all the time. Tomlin did that. He's done that almost every year. He's like, this is basically a redshirt year. I know you can come back and play for us in 4 weeks. We're going to put you in season-ending IR and just take a redshirt year, and you'll be back next year.
But I'm trying to think back, because I really don't watch too much preseason, but he was an active participant in practice, so it just, maybe they saw something and they were like, no, this guy's pretty hurt.
Yeah, well, the same thing with the Steelers. Will Howard, right? He had an injury, but the last week or so, he's been back throwing and stuff, so he's probably a week away, but they were like, forget this, we'll put you on IR, basically. So, and he most likely, I don't know if it's the full season IR, I'm assuming it is.
No, it's a full season. He's done. He's done. The other, it wasn't shocking, but I was like, oh, okay, he's a good pick. Tommy DeVito is on the team now.
Oh yeah.
So
They needed a backup, right?
that Woodridge guy, I know he was a rookie, but you can tell that he wasn't gonna make the team. So I'm actually glad that they're carrying three quarterbacks, because I know a lot of teams I see that they have two, but I thought that there was a new rule that you have to carry three.
I don't think you have to, but you can.
Maybe the third one on the practice team or something. I don't know.
Well, I mean, have as many as you want, right? So it's about your 53 that are on the active roster, and then when it comes to game time, what are you doing for the emergency quarterback slot, and how many are dressing basically? So, I imagine with three, they may all end up like dressing. We'll see.
Yeah, I was kind of head shaking, but I guess you know what, Tommy D's in the house. The other thing, the last one, the second to last one, this whole Brady controversy. I called it Brady Gate right away, but okay. So if you haven't heard or haven't seen it, I guess the NFL is going to allow him to do pre-production meetings with the opposite team or whoever the teams are that he's announcing.
I thought they banned it.
They did it last year. He wasn't allowed, but this year I guess it lifted that. So, number one, are they doing that because they know that they have a deal with Fox? They don't want to screw that up, or are they doing that? I'm just thinking, like, what would be the motive if you know the owners that voted against it?
Well, I mean, he has to be able to participate in the pre-production stuff and have information to be successful as a broadcaster, right? Can't sit there for 3 hours and not have anything to talk about. So I understand why they need to be, as part of the media, involved. But like you said, it's a unique situation because he's part owner, and you don't want him going back to telling coaches and players and sharing some of the secrets or what he's learning. So it's a unique, crazy situation.
It's because I seen him brag about his game plans because it's so meticulous. He actually kept almost every game plan when he was a quarterback. He showed it off in a video. He's like, yeah, this is when we play so and so. I was like, you don't think he's gonna do that?
Yeah.
You think that they're gonna have a shredder? Okay, shred every. No, he needs that stuff for the pregame, for during the game.
But it must make the other teams feel uncomfortable, right? Because you're over here, you know who he is, and you gotta be careful what you say and how much information you give, because you don't want him going back to the coach and sharing that information.
Terrible. The other thing came out today, and we're doing this on Thursday, the 28th. The rivalry uniforms. I know they left Steelers out for some reason, because even the Bengals had one. Don't they have an all white?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, this one was a lot of NFC teams, so maybe next year more AFC teams join them. But
yeah, I don't know if the Steelers 1933 jersey that they displayed, like, it's been more than a month now. I think that they showed what it's going to be, and it's been for sale at this point. I don't know if that's considered a rivalry uniform or whatever, but I know the Steelers website, Steelers, they're pushing everyone to try to purchase that their uniform,
and that uniform is not pretty. No. Like referees dipped in yellow. Yeah, I will say this: the Patriots one is butter. I cannot wait. I immediately when I saw that. Well, immediately after I saw it, I went to the website and they don't have it. But I was like, oh, I need one. And then I was reading about the stars represent each state and all this stuff, and I was like, oh, on the collar, yeah. I think that there were some naysayers, but overall, I think they did a pretty good job. I even like the whole like matte white with the icing color, perfect. Ron, let's just go right into it. Let's go into the coaches that we think are in the hot seat. And I'll start with my top 5. And I'll start with Miami Dolphins, Mike McDaniel. I mean, what else can you say? This dude his locker room is falling apart and he's acting like there's no dumpster fire behind him. And it's a shame because that's a pretty good roster. I mean, there's no accountability.
You know, as the head coach, he has to own that. And, you know, from what I hear, it's just that locker room is just a hot mess. So
terrible. Who's your number 1?
I had Kevin Stefanski, and you know, you're talking about a coach who didn't win Coach of the Year not too long ago, but
I think back to back. I think
that team's a dumpster fire. You know, the Browns again are probably going to win 4 or 5 games this season. Their whole quarterback situation is a mess. The way they handled Deshaun Watson is a hot mess. The running back situation that they drafted hasn't even signed a contract yet. You know, had charges dropped. That's a mess, but he's going to end up, you know, suspended at some point. Everything about Cleveland, everything they touch, everything they do has been a mess. And I think, you know, I don't blame him necessarily for everything that's gone wrong. But if they have another 4 and 5 season, which I'm pretty sure they will, just based on that roster and what's going on with the quarterback room, you know, I can see him definitely getting fired.
I mean, I can kind of see his vision. They just stockpiling so many draft picks. I mean, when Jacksonville did that trade, you knew right away that the Browns were just going to throw in the towel for the season. There's no way that you do that trade unless you're trying to win now. And I know that he's buddy with the GM for the Cleveland. So I think he, after this, even if it goes horribly wrong, I think he has another year left. Because I feel like there's a plan in place. I don't know what that plan is, but I feel like he has a plan. But do you think if he gets fired, he just gets another job?
Probably.
Yeah.
You know, because again, it's not all on him. I think obviously ownership has a lot to do with that. You know, Cleveland's been a disaster for years. So, you know, any coach that goes there is going to have issues. So, I think he would end up getting a job eventually. I don't know if it would be right away. I don't have a lot of coaches on the hot seat. It was tough for me to come up with a list. I only got like really 5 players, but 6, you know, adding Mike Tomlin, because I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on him this season.
I mean, my number 2 was Brian Daboll, because this is his 3rd, 4th season, and I don't think they've won more than 5-6 games. I think they won 8 games one time. It might have been his 1st season, but it's all been downhill, and I feel like the defense is going to be okay, but the offense is going to be not good.
Well, I don't know. I think it's going to be better.
Better than what they had last year?
Yeah, I mean, you got Russell Wilson. He's not going to make a lot of mistakes. He's not going to make a lot of plays either. You drafted a rookie that looked pretty good in preseason, so eventually going to move to him. I mean, there's not a lot of franchise quarterbacks out there. You got to make, what's the saying? Make lemonade out of lemons, or, you know, whatever that saying is. You got to take what you got and get him over the hump. But I think he, you know, for everything I hear, he's actually a good coordinator, offensive coordinator. And, you know, maybe now with like a competent quarterback, he can figure out how to score some points. We'll see.
Do you think Jackson Dart plays by the end of it? Then that means that Russell Wilson wasn't that good. That means that Winston wasn't that good. Very, very tough schedule. I think they're like 2 or number 1. My other one, we talked about McDaniels and Daboll. Who's your number 4?
Yeah, so I got Stefanski, Daniels, Daboll. Those are my top 3. And then Shane Steichen from the Colts I have as my number 4. I think the Colts situation that's been a disaster too. The whole quarterback situation and all, you know, how that's been handled. I do think Daniel Jones, I actually believe he's going to survive the entire season. Because I think he's actually a decent coach. I just think he needed a quarterback. I think Daniel Jones could be it to a certain extent. I think it can go either way with him. He either makes the playoffs with Daniel Jones, or it becomes like a shit show, and they have to go, to the backup, and it's a disaster from there.
Which is strange because he was the offensive coordinator for the Eagles. He had this guy as a quarterback, and he did pretty well. I think they went to the Super Bowl. They didn't win. I don't think they won, or they went to the conference champion. But people were like, "Oh, Richardson, there's so much potential," and look what happened.
Yeah. 1 year starter. I don't care how much potential you have. If you're not if you don't have several years as a starter in college, then how could you be expected to be ready for the NFL?
I try to warn you, Ron. I said this guy played 2 years, I think, in Florida, and you're like, no, he's ready. He was not ready. Obviously, he was not ready. You know who I put as my third coach in the hot seat? Dave Canales.
Really?
I did because he has a very unstable owner. So even maybe he gets a little bit better than last year, but even with that, I don't think the owner keeps him. So I can see him as an offensive coordinator somewhere else. I just don't see him as a head coach. I think his lifespan is going to be short. I see that Mike Tomlin's on your list, Ron. What's going on?
Yeah, so before I have him, though, I have Brian Schottenheimer at Dallas.
We just talked about the trade. It's almost like they're going to try to outscore people. I don't know.
I don't know what their plan is anymore. I when I put this together, right, I assumed Parsons was going to end up signing, and they would make, a push for the playoffs, and he would be fine. But now I have no idea what direction they're trying to go in. So I got him on my hot seat. We'll see what happens. I don't think Jerry Jones, he'll blink an eye to get rid of him. He'll change coaches whenever he wants. But going back to like Mike Tomlin, I have him on here, sort of on the hot seat, but it was his decision to bring in Aaron Rodgers, right? Traded for and gave all that money to Metcalf. You made a bunch of different moves. And here you are again sitting on another season where you need to try to get a playoff win. So with this roster, with all the guys, the vets that they brought in, it's saying we're going for it, right? We're going not just to win a playoff game, but we're trying to make a Super Bowl push. And if they don't make the playoffs, which is still feasible because the division is tough, right? If they don't make the playoffs or if they don't get a win, I think he should be on the hot seat. I know the media will be talking about it. The national media turned their backs on him, or started to at least last year, right? I think they finally said, well, maybe there is something to this. Steeler fans are annoyed at this point. I think he would be on the hot seat if they can't figure out how to win a playoff game.
I have him in the same spot as you do. I think that all that is true. I think that he's rolling the dice by doing this, but I feel like ever since Big Ben retired, he's doing that. Have you guys had consecutive starters at quarterback after Ben left?
No.
Yeah, it's just been
and it's not just the starters that have changed. It's the entire locker room has changed, right? We've seen so many quarterbacks come and go and come back. In Mason Rudolph's case, they just have not been able to figure out how to replace Big Ben, and it's tough for teams that are good. You're drafting on the back end of the draft, right? So it's not like you have a premium pick again to try to go up and get a good quarterback, and so they're in kind of a tough situation. And Tomlin's electing to go with vets. See, that's what he's been doing the last couple of years. Let's see if this one works out.
So why not just keep Fields and keep developing?
Well, because I think we've seen the best of Fields. I think what you've seen is his ceiling, and his ceiling is not good enough, potentially not even good enough to be a starter in this league, to be honest with you. It's just not good enough. period. And, Russell Wilson was good, but he's 36 or 37, and he was on a decline as well. So, like I said, you're just in a tough situation, where they're not going to tank to get a good pick. They're always going to be in that middle ground.
The 500.
Area, and it's tough to find your QB when you're doing things that way.
The only other guy that I had before Mike Tomlin is Zach Taylor from the Cincinnati. I think that if they don't win the division and they don't go far in the playoffs, I think he's done.
Well, he's not the GM, right? I'm pretty sure he's not the one saying, "Hey, let's give Higgins and Chase and Burrow, those huge contracts and barely be able to fill a defense, because I'm okay with giving up 35 points a game on defense." I'm sure that's not him as a head coach making that decision.
Yeah, but if you can't work with the GM, who pays for that? You. The owner's gonna go to GM and be like, "Who should I fire?" He's gonna be like, "Zach Taylor." That's his. I give him good players, and this is what the outcome.
Point to the defensive ranking and be like, "This defense is terrible.
Well,
these players are terrible."
They switched defensive coordinator, and it doesn't seem promising. At least on the preseason, it doesn't seem promising. Yeah, and then everyone else. I mean, the only one that was kind of surprising that I actually saw that it was odds was Kyle Shanahan. I don't think he's on the hot seat.
No, he's a great coach.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who would. I don't know if it was 100-1 or 200-1. I was just like, why is he even on the board? Yeah. Let's go to our QB rankings, Ron, and let's do the top 5. Who are your top 5 quarterbacks?
Yeah, so I struggle with the first two, believe it or not. Josh Allen has been the MVP. He played like an MVP last year, but I still got Joe Burrow as my number 1 quarterback. I think when it just comes to playing the quarterback position, I know he can't run like Allen, but Burrow can make every single throw. I got him number 1. I got Allen number 2. I got Lamar Jackson at number 3. Mahomes, I think I don't want to say he's slipping, but he's starting to slip a little bit. I got him at number 4. And I got Jalen Daniels, second-year player. Played like a superstar last year. I got him at number 5. I think he's going to be one of the greats for a long time.
I actually have, this could be switched around. I have Josh Allen as number 1, Pat Mahomes at number 2, because let's be honest, until Allen takes that belt away, and if my money counted on it, I had 1 play left, 4th quarter, I want Patrick Mahomes. I don't want Josh Allen. Josh Allen can be dominant during the game, but I want the ball in Mahomes' hand. So this can go both ways. I have Allen as number 1, but it could be Mahomes. I have Lamar Jackson number 3. I have Burrows at number 4, and I have Goff at number. I think that being in the NFC Championship multiple times counts for something. And I know he doesn't have a Super Bowl like hers, but he knows what it takes. So I got him at number 5. Who's your 6, Ron? I mean, your 6 to 10.
Yeah, so I got Hurts at number 6. I got Mayfield at number 7, Stafford, Goff, and then Herbert rounding out my top 10.
Yeah, basically the same guys. Got Daniels at 6, Hurts at 7, Mayfield at 8, Herbert at 9, and Stafford at 10. And the only reason why I put Stafford at 10 is because he has a Super Bowl win. But maybe he could be behind Herbert. I don't know. I just like Herbert's stats, but Stafford definitely has a Super Bowl. Who's your 11 to 15?
Yeah, so I got Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy, Bo Nix, right? I think he had an outstanding rookie season last year. Another guy, young guy, I think could do really good things. I got him ranked at 13. I got Sam Darnold. And then I finished up with C.J. Stroud. I know he had a down year last year, but his rookie year, he played almost like an MVP. So I got him in my top 15.
So you like Darnold as your top 15?
Yeah, I think he's a great quarterback.
You think he's going to do good in Seattle?
I think he's going to do outstanding in Seattle. I really do. Listen, the more I watched Seattle in the preseason, at first I was like, I'm just not buying it. But the last week or so, when I watched them play, I'm like, their offensive line is good. Their running backs, they are deep in running. They had to cut their rookie. I think they bring him back to their practice squad. They got good receivers. They drafted the receiver I wanted. I've been talking about for a while in Horton. They're loaded on both sides of the ball. I think, Darnold just needs to drive the bus. And that if you just ask him to drive the bus, he's a top 15 quarterback. He's mid-range, right? 15 is mid-range. If you ask him to drive the bus, that's where he's at.
I think he had a tremendous year last year, but I'm going to attribute it to the fact that he had two great weapons in Minnesota. He had an awesome coach. I don't think that the weapons are the same in Seattle, and I don't think that the coach is the same in Seattle. So that's why I rank him a little bit lower. But I basically, only a couple of spots lower. My top 5: Stroud, Prescott, Nix, Purdy, and I even got Rodgers. I think he would be a 15. I think he's up there. And if he stays healthy, that's the biggest if right there. Who's your 15 to 20?
Yeah, so 16 through 20. I got Rodgers. I got Love, and Love has to stay healthy. I got Caleb Williams, Trevor Lawrence, and then Tua. Tua is interesting enigma because on one side he's the most accurate, and that's not being, I'm being dead serious. He's the most accurate quarterback in the NFL, but at the same side, he has the weakest arm too, and he can't throw the ball downfield, can't play in the cold either. But I got him at number 20. So Rodgers, Love, Williams, Lawrence, and then Tua rounding out my 16 through 20.
Yeah, I got Darnold, Love, and Love. I guess everyone loves him. Basically, they think he's a top 10, top 15. I was like, okay, well, that's how you feel, but you got to stay on the field. We talk about Tua having all those issues. Love, injury issues. So let's see. I got Lawrence. How many chances is this guy gonna get? Yes, cheese, and he got an extension, and he got lucky with that receiver, Brian Thompson. I'm like, dude, this guy is. And then I got Geno Smith at number 20. I think that's rounds the top 20 for me, anyways. 21 to 25. What do you got?
Yeah, I got Geno Smith, right? I got Kyler Murray, J.J. McCarthy. I know he hasn't played yet, but I think just based on what I know from him from college, got to sit last year. I think this is a good spot to place him. I also put Cam Ward, the rookie. He hasn't played yet, but obviously number 1 pick for a reason. I got him here, and then I got Drake May at 25. A lot riding on him. I think you'll see some improvement from him. I don't know if it's enough for him to get inside the top 20. But there's, a lot of younger guys too in the NFL that I don't want to say make or break, but there's, they can have really good seasons as well and kind of surpass him.
I got May at 21. I think he's right now. He has to still prove himself. There's still a lot of potential out there, but he has to prove himself. And then I actually have 2 Falcons because I have Cousins ahead of Michael Nix, which I have Penix, which I have him at 24. I think Cousins might be a better quarterback, even though he has so much baggage that comes with it. I think that eventually they're gonna switch back to Cousins midseason. I really don't know if Penix has it. I got Young at 23, and then I got Kyler Murray at 25. If he just stays on the field for all 17 games, he can jump so many spots. So we'll see if that can happen this season.
You got Drake May high. I think that's the only one that really, honestly, we're pretty close with most of these, but 21. So let me ask you this question. Who would you take as your quarterback right now, knowing what you've known, right, for everything you've seen? Would you take Drake May or Cam Ward?
Drake May.
You would take him over the number one pick in Cam
Yes,
Ward?
yes. Cam Ward, we haven't seen him in the NFL yet.
Yeah, but I'm just asking you.
We've seen May in the
Okay,
NFL.
but I'm asking you, if you were building a team, you're starting, just knowing what you've seen, would you take
If I had the number one pick,
the number one pick?
I think you would go with Cam Ward, just because I feel like that's a safe pick. I think if you take Drake May at number one, which he wasn't, we knew the teams ahead of him.
Yeah.
Chicago went with Williams, Washington with Ben Daniels. I think number three is right where he fits in.
Yeah, but you see, I don't see that you have Williams in your top 20 or top 31 at this point. And I also don't see that you have, like, where would you, I don't know how much you know about J.J. McCarthy, right, from Michigan. Would you have taken McCarthy over Drake May? And I know this is why it's hard. Like,
It's, you know why? Because it's, when you're drafting, it's all about potential, right? It's all about potential. So which one of J.J. McCarthy or Drake May had more potential? Drake May. I think so. I think because that Michigan offense was so conservative, it was based on the run. Come on, Drake May. I mean, North Carolina, he had no weapons. He had no offensive line. I don't even know how they won games because he's basically doing it all. So he had more potential for me.
Okay. It's a fair question to ask because every year we look at these quarterbacks that get drafted and you're like, you compare them to each other, right? Some of them have played, some have not. And I just wonder how good are some of these quarterbacks when you're doing the comparisons. You know, Drake May, like you said, drafted third. Cam Ward, if they were in the same draft, who gets drafted first? I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Not in that draft. Cam Ward doesn't go first, second. He might be going to six. There were better quarterbacks in that draft. So you know what? I'll trade Cousins for Williams right here. I'll put Williams on 22.
Okay.
Because
and remember, Caleb Williams was one of the greatest college quarterbacks. You know, he's the guy who's supposed to, you know, be the next Patrick Mahomes. Now, he hasn't lived up to that, but he had, if you think the Patriots situation with Drake May was bad with their coaching staff, Chicago Bears coaching staff was even worse. You know, now he has a good head coach who will actually sit and watch film with him, right? He's not going to sit by himself and watch film by himself. You know, someone will teach him how to watch film and all that stuff. So I think it's going to be a huge year for Caleb Williams. I think he could take a big.
Yeah, he can take a big step forward. I think 22 because he started all 17 games. Yeah, I think he did. Yeah. And it was just not good. It was not good. And he had better weapons than Patriots did, for sure.
That whole coaching staff is gone.
There
was some good stuff.
They clean house, but we'll see. Who do you have rounding the bottom?
Yeah, so I got Bryce Young, and I might honestly be too low on him, but wasn't really a fan when he came out. I think like the height issue is a concern, but I got him there at 26. I got Dart, you know, I think who will play this year at 27. I got Russell Wilson right below him. Michael Penix, I've never been a fan of Michael Penix. I got him at 29, and then Daniel Jones and Justin Fields finishing out 30 and 31.
So you're like low on Penix then.
I'm much lower than a lot of people. I think a lot of people are I don't know what they're trying to compare him to. And there's not a lot of lefty quarterbacks out there, but he's someone that's not very mobile. Someone who's very, 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 very injury prone. All right. And, you know he played on a good Washington team. They looked good when they made that, championship push and stuff. But, I was just never really huge on him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at my list now. I don't know why I put Richardson I probably did this before it was announced, but at the same time, Jones is in this list. I'm on my bottom tier, so I don't think the Colts like did an upgrade at quarterback. So, and then I got a Flacco, Fields, McCarthy, because we still haven't seen what he's gonna be doing. Jones, Richardson, and then finish up with Wilson. I think, and Wilson, I think he'll get you there, but he's not gonna do anything extra. I think those days are gone. Those days are gone. Yeah, so that's, I think our top 5, top 10, we're pretty close for a lot of these. Yeah, just at the end, it was something happened where we were like,
I'm higher on some of the rookies. I'm putting that, knowing that they haven't played, and second-year players like McCarthy hasn't played yet, but I think he's going to have a really good year with Minnesota.
Yeah, he's going to have an excellent year if nothing happens to him.
Yeah.
Okay, Ron, let's do our playoff predictions, and let's start with the NFC East. Let's just do the whole division, including the wild card. Who do you have, Ron, in the NFC East?
Yeah, so I told you I made some changes after today's trade, but for the East, I got Philly.
Philly, same as me. I think Philly takes that division. What about the NFC North?
Yeah, this is the change I made. I got Green Bay over Detroit. Initially had Detroit winning, but I think Green Bay is going to take it now.
You know what? I was going to change it to Green Bay, and then I thought, you know what? I still like Detroit's coaching staff better.
Now, their Green Bay's over-under, if I remember correctly, were 9.5. And I went under before today's trade. I'm going over.
You going over?
I'm going
Green Bay?
over. I think they'll get to like 10 or 11 wins, and I think that'll be enough to. I think Detroit's going to have a slightly down year. They'll still make the playoffs. They're not going to win like 12 or 13 games though.
I mean, last year I think like 14 of their games were inside for Detroit, and they still. But I know they got injuries left and right. I think that they're gonna be up to the challenge, but again, it just too much depends on Love. Like, what's Love? If I had to pick between Love and Goff, I would go with Goff because I know he can do it. I don't know if Love.
He needs to have protection too, because if he can get like rattled if he's under pressure. So,
I mean, anybody can get rattled under pressure. Who do you have for the NFC South?
that's easy. It's going to be Tampa. They've owned that division for a while.
Yeah, Tampa Bay all the way. What about the West?
Yeah, it's one a little bit harder, but I got San Fran in there. I think they'll have a bounce back year.
Yeah, I got San Fran. Even though Seattle might get frisky. Yeah. And I liked them last year. And then LA Rams, I think, ended up winning that division. But you never know. With Seattle can get frisky. Who are your wildcard teams?
Yeah, so I got Washington in as my first wildcard team. I got Detroit in as my second, and I'm putting Seattle over Dallas as my third.
Yeah, I got the Rams. I got the Green Bay. And then I got Washington winning the last wild card. So who do you have winning the NFC conference?
I'm giving it to Philly. I think they are the best team in the NFL, hands down. And I think they will get back to the Super Bowl.
I'm gonna sag. I'm gonna go with the Bucks. I think the Bucks have something special. I don't know how much I trust the coach though, but yeah, I think the Bucks might sneak around and do something. That's a long shot though, but I think so. Let's switch over a conference to the AFC. Who do you have, Ron, for the AFC East?
I got Buffalo. I think they, I think they'll win that pretty easily.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna challenge Buffalo, so I got them winning pretty easy. Who do you have for the AFC South?
South?
North.
North. Okay, so this is the one I'm shocking everybody with. I've mentioned this a couple times. This division's gonna be tough. Period. I'm not going with Pittsburgh. That would be a homer pick. I'm not going with the Ravens, even though they've owned that division. Really, I'm going with Cincinnati. They just signed Hendrickson, even though it's just a one-year deal, basically at this point. I don't know how much of an improvement their defense will be with him there now, and then the rookie opposite him playing. But I think Burrow, with him playing the preseason, I've talked about this, they're going to be on a mission. I got them winning the North.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Baltimore. I think that, and we talked about it when we did our over and unders, I think that last year they lost a lot of late games based on a fluke. You can blame it on coaching or you can blame it on luck, whatever, but I think that they fix those and they just dominate. They just dominate. So I got them winning. What do you have for the AFC South?
I got Houston winning that. I think it'll be closer than people think because, like I was saying about the Colts and Daniel Jones, I think he'll play the entire season, to be honest with you. But I'm still going to give it to Houston.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to Houston. I think that division in the AFC East are probably the weakest divisions. And I really like Houston's defense. I think they're going to be better this year. And I think they're going to... I mean, I know that not having Mixon might make them one-dimensional, but I think they're going to win that division. Who do you have for the AFC West?
Yeah, a little bit of an upset here, too. Although more people are starting, I think, buy in to Kansas City taking a step back this year. But give me Denver to win this division. I just... listen, they got probably the number, 1 or 2 defense in the NFL. And then Bo Nix, like I talked about, to me is a top 15 quarterback already. And they've added a lot of pieces to the offense and some pieces to the defense too. So I got them winning the AFC West.
See, I know what you're going through, Ron, right now, because being a Patriot fan, you get tired of the same team winning all the time, and you're like, I need something different. Somebody has to come up. I'm going with the Chiefs until someone says you guys are not good anymore. They got the quarterback is the same, the coach is the same. Yes, there's some pieces that they shuffle around here and there, but people are discounting them, and for what? Because they're not putting numbers like they used to?
Discounting them completely. I'm just saying they're not going to win the division.
So, what do you have KC as? Number 2, 3?
In that division, I give them number 2.
Yeah, this is going to be... I mean, they're not going to win like they do in last year's where they just run away with the division, but I think at the end they're going to win it. Who are your wildcard teams for the AFC?
Yeah, so I got KC, as I mentioned. I think they'll be in the playoffs for sure, just not winning the division. I got Pittsburgh in here, and this, again, AFC North, you don't know how it's going to go, but one thing I can tell you for sure, Mike Tomlin's going to win at least 9 games. I can guarantee that. 9 or 10 games will be enough to get them in the playoffs. So I got them as my number 2 team. And then it comes down to really the Chargers in Baltimore, and I got the Chargers and I think they're a good team, like a really good team too. I think they've done a lot this offseason. This is only Harbaugh's second year. You can see he's putting the emphasis on having a big, physical, run-heavy team. And I think he's gonna be able to make the playoffs with the team he has.
Ron, you're like with a straight face telling me that Baltimore, not only are they not going to finish first, they're not even going to finish second. You have them. Wow, Ron, take your glasses because you're not being serious right now.
Straight face.
Wow, this is like a homer pick, like beyond homer, because you're not really putting Pittsburgh as winning the division. You're like, they make the playoffs over Baltimore. No.
So you're saying Pittsburgh's out?
I got the Chargers. I got Denver. I got Cincinnati.
Cincinnati over Pittsburgh.
9 wins is not gonna get you in the playoffs. And when we did our roster review, I got them winning 9 games, and that's not enough.
Okay.
Same thing for the Patriots. 9 games are not gonna be enough unless something wild happens where the AFC West just goes into like full battle mode. I don't see that happening. Who do you have in the AFC Conference Championship game?
I got Buffalo. I think, Josh Allen, I said Joe Burrow is my number 1 quarterback, but eventually the defense will wear down. And Buffalo, if it's a shootout, I think Buffalo and Josh Allen, I trust them a little bit more than I trust Cincinnati.
Yeah, I got Baltimore playing in the Super Bowl against Tampa Bay. You have Buffalo playing Philly in the Super Bowl. Who is your Super Bowl champion?
I'm going to go Philly. I just got to. Like I said, I think they're the best team, hands down, in the NFL. I think Josh Allen arguably is, either first or second quarterback. But I think the Philly, with their running game, their passing game, their defense, their offensive line, I have a hard time. After seeing what they did to Kansas City last year, I just have a hard time seeing the Bills being able to just keep up, with
the Eagles'
Philly.
defense.
Mm-hmm.
I have Baltimore against Tampa, and I have Baltimore as a champion. I think the monkey comes off Lamar's back, where he's like, I finally did it. Because I think that was his biggest thing before the extension, right? He was like, I haven't won a Super Bowl. I don't deserve this money.
Him and Josh Allen both.
Yeah. This is gonna be, and we mentioned that it's gonna be in Santa Clara this year. I fully expect just purple all over the place, even though it's mostly corporate. But I fully expect Baltimore to just shell out loot and just show up for that Super Bowl in California. Okay, Ron. So that is going to be the episode 126. Next week, we're going to record. Well, hopefully I get my laptop by that. But next week, we're going to record week 1.
Season begins.
The season begins. Put your bets in. Put your...
By the way, I'm beating you in predictions this year. We can put a bear on it, or your favorite, liquor on it.
No, we already have that. We already have that bet that either the Steelers or the Patriots are gonna have a better record for a bottle of whatever. I like bourbon. What do you like?
I'll take bourbon too.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Then we're gonna do episode 127. Start the season. Start with our predictions. Start with the NFL news. Man, I thought this day would never come, Ron. What do you want to say to the fans out there?
Yeah, hey, we're almost here. The season's about to begin. Buckle up and just enjoy, the start of the season. Enjoy college football if you're into that. Enjoy the Red Sox if you're still following baseball. Enjoy your MLB team. Hopefully it's the Red Sox. And just, get ready for a great, exciting season.
Get your Sunday ticket if you don't already have it. I know a lot of people... Maybe because they don't know there's so many different streaming servers. This week we're actually gonna have a game on Thursday, a game on Friday, a game on Sunday, and a game on Monday. It's gonna be like the weekend we always wanted. Yeah, it's Christmas. Christmas in August or September, whatever the case. So until next time, I say peace.
Peace.